while back was an alcoholic. Had a mental breakdown like a year ago. Came close to put me in a coffin. Damn.
Y'all know what it is, man. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. Back at it again. Make sure you like, subscribe. Don't like, drop a comment, hit the bell. Y'all know all the things that make YouTube what it is. So today we're going to talk about why is it people just continue to get locked up. For me, that's an important topic. There's probably somebody watching right now that's been locked up a ton of times, man, and just can't figure out, why do I keep ending up here? Why is it that I know I'm going to go to jail if I do this, but I do it anyway? Let me break it down to you. Before we get started, excuse the beard, man. I'm like a baby gorilla. Like I could shave this shit off and I'll look this way in a month from now. So, you're going to watch. If you're not, you're not. So this is what I think, man, and this is how I've seen it. I did a lot of time. I think I've got over 30 some arrests. A lot of stints, detention centers, jails, prisons. You pretty much mentioned it, man. I've done everything except like state farms and stuff like that. I never qualified to be on no chain gang or be on no farm because, I always had violent charges. So I always end up with the big boys, They don't let me outside the fence. I always end up in the bad places. But it's like this, man. For me, incarceration came at a young age. I was just young, man. I was a young buck. So you fast forward to the time once I turned 18, I'm no longer afraid of going to jail. I don't think I ever was afraid because before I really knew what true fear was, I was already incarcerated. You're talking somebody that's not even a young man yet, somebody that's still a kid is locked up. He's already felt what it is, to be stripped of everything. I knew what it was to shower with other guys. I knew what it was to be locked in a cell. I knew what it was to be told what to do, to have visitors come see me, just to go through all the ropes of incarceration at a young age. So immediately, the fear of consequence goes out the window. So if you want to do something, most people's brains work like, hey, that's wrong. I'm going to end up locked up. I don't want to be locked up. Well, when you're that young and you get locked up, that fear goes out the window. You come back out to the detention center now, it's almost like a badge. It's a badge of like honor almost. You know what I mean? Like you went to war or something. You're this young boy and you come back out in the neighborhood. Everybody knows you've been locked up. Everybody knows you just got out. So now you walk around like, I'm the shit. When in reality, you're just a dummy. You know what I mean? So like I said, you fast forward, now it's time to go to jail. You don't have no fear of jail. You don't have no fear of the law. You don't have no fear of consequence. Then you got some people who, it may not have started off with incarceration at a young age, but say they're just used to having nothing. They're used to a hard life. Mom's on drugs, dad ain't around, whatever the case may be, dinner ain't on the table, and then they get locked up and boom, they got 3 meals a day. For the females that live that hard life, they might not have to worry about nobody coming in the room and touching them at night. For the boys that live that hard life, they might not have to worry about walking the streets till dawn, looking for a place to stay. There's all type of cycles, man, that lead us to where we end up. People have asked me before, like, you wasn't scared when you got to prison? No, I wasn't. And that's kind of sad because there should be that fear instilled in all of us. That's what keeps us from going off the deep end and doing things we shouldn't do. But I didn't have that fear. I was just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Locked up again, so what? Just move on with it. And that's sad. It's really sad. I know guys that, and this is true, you might think it's some scene on TV shit. I know dudes, homeless dudes, man, that I met in prison that wait until the wintertime. They're hungry, they're cold, police keep running them off from the parks and the breezeways they're sleeping in. They get fed up. Wait till a cop car, drives by, and pull the dick out and start pissing in the middle of the street. You know, getting locked up. Take the beer bottle they're drinking, boom, smash it right off the back of the car. Get locked up. Wait till a cop drives by, walk up and break another car window and break into it right in front of the cop. Just so that they don't have to worry about nothing anymore. They're going to get fed. They're going to be housed. They're going to be showered. They're going to have clothes put on their back. I remember this dude, man, and he was a gay dude. He was a boy. And his name was Lil Mama. And he slept in the cell next to me. I remember when they brought Lil Mama his mail one day. And they called him by his name, Marvin. So, you know, I like to joke. So when I found out his name was Marvin, I started calling him Marvin Gaye. I wasn't going to call no grown-ass man Lil Mama. I'll call you whatever your nickname is, but if I don't feel comfortable saying it, like, I'm not about to call no, 6 foot tall, 205 pound man Lil Mama. I'm not doing it. So I just started calling him Marvin Gaye. Well, the point of this is, Marvin, man, in the 8 years that I did at Greensville before I got transferred to the next institution, I seen Marvin come back 3 times. I didn't think it was possible to come back that fast, because you have to, you have to get out. Most people spend a little time out. Then you catch your new charges. Then you go through the process of trial, which can take, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. And then after you're found guilty, you wait for sentencing, and then once you're sentenced, you wait for DOC to come and get you. And like I said, I've seen people sitting in jail up to 18 months, 2 years. Philadelphia, I've met dudes that have been in the county 4 years at the House of Corrections waiting to be transferred, to a prison, to Camp Hill or wherever, you know what I mean? And Marvin Gaye came back 3 times, man. And when I asked Marvin, I was like, he was talking to somebody through the door, and I can't remember what it was he said, but something he said caught my attention. I was on my rack reading, so I got up and went to the door, and I was like, yo, what is you doing back here, man? Why do I have to hear you yelling again? And how is it possible you've been back 3 times and I ain't been home once? You know what I mean? And Marvin said it straight up. Like, he kind of broke it down. He was just like, you know what? I feel more content in here than I do out there, man. He was like, in here, I don't get judged. He was like, in here, it's okay to be gay. In here, nobody snickers at me. He was like, so I don't have a problem being locked up. He's like, but the problem is when I get back out in the real world, people want to say slick shit. Like, I'm not a Golden Glove boxer and I won't beat their ass. He's like, and that's always what happens. Somebody says something to me, and this dude's out there dressed up like a girl. He's like, and they don't realize that I'm still a man and I'll beat their ass. For Marvin, incarceration was acceptance. There were so many people like Marvin in there, and so many men that were attracted to people like Marvin in there, that for Marvin, this wasn't a bad thing. He could come here and he was almost like a damn runway model to some of these dudes, man. Like, dudes loved him. And if one man got shipped, he'd have a new man the next day. And so on, and so on, and so on. And then you have some people, man, and this is a fact, and this is what pisses me off about, the criminal justice system and all that. You have some people that suffer from mental disabilities. Some people that need to be medicated, and the medication needs to be overseen, and they need to take that stuff, man. No way around it. Need to be constantly evaluated, but they're not. You go to prison, you do your time, and it's not about rehabilitation. It's about mass incarceration. They push you right out that door with a pat on the back, like, good luck. And it's a no-brainer that if somebody should not have been in there to begin with because they're not mentally right, you know what I mean? It's a no-brainer that when they get out, they're going to do the same thing. I've met dudes that killed people and couldn't really give you a logical explanation on why they did it. I met a dude named Ace of Greensville. Big white dude, older dude. By the time I met him, Ace was in his 50s. And what I'm going to tell you is 100% true. A lot of it, people are going to be like, oh, that's a lie. He made that up. No. Ace was in his 50s, man. Ace was not playing with a full deck of cards. Like Ace had maybe three cards in his deck. His deck was all messed up, and all three of them cards was jokers. So Ace, gets to telling me one day, he asked me how much time I had, and I don't really like to discuss time in there. But I told him, I got a dime piece, and he was like, "Oh, you're a short timer. At 10 years, I'm a short timer." And this is exactly what I said. I said, "How am I short?" He was like, "Man, I got life plus this and this and this." I was like, "Damn." So I asked Ace, I said, "If you don't mind me asking, man," and you ain't got to respond, you know what I mean? I said, "Look, I'm in here on a robbery, malicious wounding. How did who did you kill? Because you definitely killed somebody to have that much time." He was like, "I killed my wife's parents." And I was like, "Killed your wife's parents? Why? What happened? Like a divorce or something? Custody battle?" He was like, "No, I was behind some soda." And I was like, "Soda?" He was like, "Yeah, they went to the store, came back with all their stuff. I gave them some money to get my Mountain Dew. They didn't get it. We got into an argument behind it because I felt like, they did it intentionally." He's like, "And it led to me murdering both of them." This man just told me he killed 2 people behind a 6-pack of Mountain Dews. Killed his wife, mother and father, behind a 6-pack of Mountain Dews. That's mental illness. Nobody in their right mind is going to let something as simple as soda escalate to the point of murder. But Ace did. I met child molesters, and before we even get started, I hate child molesters, all of them. Rapists, the pieces of shit, they deserve to burn in the pits of, the darkest and most fiery hell. But you're not going to escape being around them. And there was a dude, you can look him up, his name's David Bickley from Orange County. And I used to torment David Bickley because I found out that David Bickley was in there on his second child molestation case and was doing 2 years. And I really felt some type of way, A, that he had messed with children, and B, that this piece of crap had 2 years. The judge gave him 2 years. Like, in 2 years, he gets to get back out and do this again. So I got tired of, beating Dave up and doing this and doing that to him and taking his stuff, which I ain't no monster. He deserved every bit of that. But he was sitting at the table one day, and he was supposed to go home in like a week from then, and I could see dude was stressed out. So I said, "Man, I'm gonna go mess with him." You know what I mean? Drive this dude nuts. The hell with him. So I walked up and I was like, "What's up, weirdo? You about to get out?" And he was like, "Yeah, I get out in like a week." And you could tell by looking at Dave that Dave wasn't all there. Dave had the big penitentiary style glasses, but they were like Coke bottle glasses. Like you could burn ants with these things. So see planets nobody else could see with these damn glasses. And I told Dave, I said, "Well, your weird ass better stay away from the schools and away from the kids." And what this man said to me, I'll never forget, man, because it was not a response you would ever expect to get. And David Bickley was one of the only people I ever met that admitted to what he did. Nobody in prison raped anybody. Nobody in prison child molester. It's all a misunderstanding. They're all innocent. Murderers and stuff, they'll tell you, "Yeah, I killed his ass." Car thieves, "Yeah, I steal cars." Bank robbers, "I rob banks." Rapists, they didn't rape nobody. Child molesters, they didn't rape nobody. But that wasn't the case with David Bickley. David told me, I said, "Man, you better get out and stay away from kids. Stay away from them damn schools, man. Stupid ass can get locked back up or somebody's gonna kill your monkey ass. Like, stay away from all that, stupid." And David said, "What am I supposed to do?" I said, "You're not supposed to go messing with nobody's kids. Like, you're a weirdo." He was like, "Well, look at me. What woman is gonna want me? Don't no women like me." Just in him saying that, it verified how messed up in the head he was. Because A, he's talking to somebody that has beat him up more times than I can count. I was somebody that extorted him, somebody that just, when I was having a bad day, I'd give it to David because he gave it to them kids. I get to arguing or doing something, that makes me just uncomfortable. I'm going straight to David's cell. I'm going to beat his ass. Just on the strength of, he's a chomo. But after he said that, I realized that David was sick. He's a sick individual. And David shouldn't have been in prison. He should have been in a mental institute. The good thing about what happened to David is on the day he was supposed to leave, they called him up to the counselor's office. And when you leave prison, you leave, if your people are coming to pick you up, they usually call your name around 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9, and they take you up front. If you're catching a bus, they call you about 4:30, because they want to get you out before 5:30 count. So, you get up front, dressed out, your property, all that, boom, you're out the gate. One of the COs puts you in a prison vehicle and takes you to the bus station. Well, David was supposed to be picked up. Didn't happen. Counselor called David up, to the 3rd floor of Greensville, into the counselor's office, and told him, you're being civilly committed. Civilly committed means they can hold you for as long as they want, because they feel that you are not ready to enter society. They know that there's something wrong with you, that if you're released on that day, you will reoffend immediately. And Dave Bickley was that case. So he's looking all sad, and I walk up behind him, pow, smack him in the back of his head. What you crying for? He's like, they're civilly committing me. And I let it be known. I said, yo, the weirdo got civilly committed. And everybody started clapping. But the point of this was to say that a lot of people that return to lockup return because they're not right up here. Dude, John Wayne did 25 years. Skinny black dude, bald head, old head, true convict. John Wayne did 25 years for murder, and they called him John Wayne because he played with those guns. Not because he looked like John Wayne. He wasn't no cowboy, but John Wayne was known for shooting men down. Well, the John Wayne in prison was known for shooting men down. John Wayne wasn't out 6 months. He made parole on a very long sentence. He did 25. They let him go. John Wayne was down in Richmond not even a year and killed somebody else. John Wayne didn't have a fear of consequence. John Wayne had accepted a life of incarceration. Now let me break down to you what broke the cycle for me. Because as I've said, I started off young. And this last time I went in, I was in my mid-20s, came out in my mid-30s. Watched a whole decade pass through my prison cell window. I woke up one day and I was tired. When I say tired, not in a physical sense, but in a mental state. I was tired of being incarcerated. I was tired of everything that my life had become. I was tired of those 4 walls, tired of drinking lukewarm coffee from the sink in the cell, tired of shakedowns, tired of that uncomfortable mat, tired of the bland food, tired of the people arguing, tired of waiting on the phone, tired of waiting on the shower, tired of waiting on the microwave, tired of being disrespected by guards, tired of missing my family. You just think of all the things that you all take for granted every day, and they're stripped away from you. And I was tired of not having all of those things, and then having things replaced with the things that created my life and made it what it was while incarcerated. I learned to hate who I once was. I learned to hate the things that I once did. My conscience started to develop, and once it developed, I started to feel all types of remorse and feel bad for things I had done. And that's when the true change started. When I decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I miss my mom. I miss my brothers and sisters. I miss my son. I miss my life. And I've spent so much of it in the system that it's, they say you can get anything back in life but time. And I couldn't get that time back. And I decided right then and there, and I was about 8 years in on my sentence, that I was done. I had to come up with something different. And I did. Even before that, I had been working in there. I've been going to school for all the things I do these days, the construction stuff, doing college classes, business management, getting trades. And I didn't know at the time when I was doing it. I mean, I took it serious. I like to work with my hands, but I didn't realize that subconsciously I was already preparing myself for the future. 99.9% of those guys that go to those classes go there just to get out the pod. They don't want to be in the pod all day, so it allows them to go to school and get away and see different people and homeboys, and maybe you got a female teacher or something, or, you know what I mean? But most of them took it for a joke, and I think that I did for a while, but I always strived, and it was all part of a bigger plan. You've got to learn to hate the person that you were, the person that put you where you were. You've got to learn to hate all the negative things that you embraced, that you allowed to control your life, that you took and accepted as okay. You have to learn to hate that stuff. Dudes are so quick to, man, damn, I missed you. When you get home, blah, 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 blah. But they didn't really miss you. Because when you miss somebody, you find them, you reach out to them, you stay in touch with them, you make sure that they're okay. How can you say you miss somebody and you love them, but you do nothing to help them? If that was your brother or your dad or your mom or your kid, you would be there for them because you honestly love them. That's somebody that matters to you. But when it comes to your so-called friends that you miss, you didn't do nothing because you got more friends. You got a limited amount of mothers and brothers and sisters and dads, but you got a whole bunch of friends, or so you think. I was tired, man. I broke the cycle. No one else but me. Laying in my bed one night, man, I was looking out the window, and all I could think is, how the hell can I get up out of here? I was sitting there with a pad and a pen, and I was looking at my watch, and I was watching. They have 2 perimeter vehicles that go around the outside of Greensville. There's 3 fences, and you have a vehicle all the way on the outside fence that drives around, making sure that nobody's climbing the fence, no funny business going on. Then you got a truck in between the 2nd and 3rd fence that drives in the opposite direction. And they do this 24 hours a day. When one shift changes, another guard gets into another vehicle and they go. So I'm timing these vehicles and I'm watching them, and I'm coming up with calculations on, once he passes by my where I can see him, how long will it be before there's another vehicle? So in my head, I'm trying to figure out how much time I have. If I was to get outside and get to that first fence, how much time would I have to get from that first fence over that first rack of razor Constantine wire, over that 2nd fence that's got razor wire all the way up it and then over the top, and then over that 3rd fence that's got a motion sensor on it, razor on the ground, razor up the top, and razor on the sides. So I'm doing this math trying to figure out, how long is it going to be before that truck comes back around? Do I have enough time to clear those 3 fences? Because you're going to get cut, you're going to get hung up. So I'm trying to play all this into equation, and I can remember that's when my breakthrough came. I was just looking at those fences, and I just put my head down, sat there quietly. Sully's on the top bunk, sleep, all the lights off in the pod, and I'm just looking at the fences, and I knew, I'm not going to get out of here until they release me. There's no way. I'm stuck here. And at that moment there, I got tired of being there. It was no longer fun and games. I was no longer looking forward to the door popping in the morning so I could go kick it with the homies. No, I wanted to go home. And I never wanted to come back. And I've molded my life to not only keeping myself safe and free, keeping my family safe, but helping others around me to go down the same road. Each one teach one, each one reach one. If you knew better, you do better. All those things come into play. So this was a lot longer than I expected it to be. Might have to edit some things out, keep it underneath the time limit, but y'all know what it is, man. If you're one of those people that just keeps going back, play this back. Watch it several times. Hopefully you'll pick something up from it. So look, man, y'all know what it is. It's Jay Williams. Let's live life. And as always, salute.
A little while back was an alcoholic. Had a mental breakdown like a year ago. Came close to put me in a coffin.